Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Mercury being retrograde because it's going to go retrograde this month, March 15th. And it's going to be retrograde all the way through April 7th. Now, while it's retrograde, in the sign of Pisces, there is so much going on. It is unbelievable what this retrograde is going to bring about. So please pay attention. We have so much that is about to come down. Now, you've heard about Mercury retrograde so many times. And yes, Mercury rules communications and travel. Generally, that's the main thing, and everything that's connected with that. What is connected with communications? Computers, telephones, social media, anything where we communicate and connect to other people. Another thing is travel. Travel by car, travel by plane, and trying to get places, Mercury rules. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it brings to the surface anything that is to go wrong with these areas in lines of communications and lines of travel. And what it's truly about is that when a planet goes retrograde, well, it's not really retrograde, but from the vantage point of our movement here on Earth, it appears to go retrograde, but it calls for a time for us to reflect, to go back, and reassess things. Because in doing so, we can prevent the problems that these retrogrades actually bring into our lives. But before I do, gotta tell you all about my newsletter. Really, I put so much into it. You're really missing out if you're not getting it. And it's free. Go to galacticcenter.org, sign up for my free newsletter. While you're there, look and see the offerings that my Patreon offers. So Mercury retrograde is really about reviewing, reflecting, rehashing, reanalyzing everything in accordance to what we're thinking and how we communicate. Because during Mercury retrograde, because people are always forging forward instead of taking the time to pull back and reassess, a lot of mistakes are made. It's not necessarily the greatest time to sign documents, and or travel always goes haywire, especially on the day it turns retrograde, as well as the day it turns direct. Because essentially this means it's changing directions. So during these times, people change their minds. That's why you got to be careful not to plan a business meeting on that day that it turns retrograde or direct, because people usually change their minds. But all in all, so much goes on. We can't cancel our lives when Mercury is retrograde, but just pay attention to March 15th as well as April 7th. People will change their minds. And yes, traveling, things will go haywire. And you know, I travel so much in my life. I had to travel on Mercury retrograde days. I just knew things were going to go haywire, and I brought a lot of reading material. And it didn't bother me because I was mentally prepared for it. That's the big difference. So that's what will be happening. But I have a lot to say about this Mercury retrograde, because during this Mercury retrograde, Mercury is debilitated in Pisces. And they say a retrograde will reverse it to being more like an exalted planet. But in essence, it's just not right. There's something dysfunctional about it. And since Mercury rules communications, I have to say, with it retrograde, debilitated, next to Neptune, are you kidding me? We are going to be fed so many lies, deceit, and propaganda around the world, you have to pay attention. This is a crazy time in the world for miscommunications. Be aware, it is going to be so rampant and so crazy, the lies, the unethical things that are going to be processing and coming about. It's going to be insane. Truly, it's going to be insane. Be aware not to be pulled into all of the lies and cheating and misinformation that will be rampant around the world. So this is what this is going to be about. And let me just say this, that this Mercury retrograde is so powerful. It's going to even cross over Neptune and Rahu. And this whole month, things will be revealed from the past. Because what does a retrograde do? It brings up things from before, the past. So we are rehashing, re-evaluating what's happened before in order to be able to make better choices in the future. At least this is what Mercury retrograde should be used for. It really, really should. But in this process of review, a lot of things will come to the surface that are unbelievable, that are the truth. It will be hard to stomach the reality of what this Mercury retrograde of all will be producing and revealing. With so many planets in Pisces with Mercury retrograde at this time, it also deals with the seas and the oceans. There's going to be problems with the oceans, weather, storms, water, floods, all of that is going to be intense. And because Mercury does rule travel by ship, there can be some crises on ships or boats, cruises. Be aware of that. Yes, there could be some major events with that. I get a strong feeling. Another thing is this will affect travels and airplanes as well, because we're talking about the planet of travel being debilitated, retrograde, and I think that probably some truths will come up concerning the recent catastrophes with air travel. I think some of the things that are going to be uncovered is that they weren't accidents. Things are seriously, there is so much going on under the surface that hasn't been surfaced yet. But it's happening. But this is all to bring a deep awareness and a healing for the future. And it will. These placements are incredible, and Venus and Mercury actually will be traveling on top of one another the whole time, and they're actually like fighting for attention. Venus will probably overrule Mercury because it's exalted, and as they are traveling the same degree, it's actually a planetary war. Venus will win. Venus is brighter. Venus is stronger. So everything to do with our mind, our communications, is so weak during this month. We can't really get a lot done. So what is it a good month for? Reflecting, reviewing, reassessing, analyzing. And as you do, you will get to the bottom of some major discrepancies. And that goes globally for the world. Major discrepancies and things are being revealed about the governments around the world, and especially the United States. all the corruption. Are you ready to believe how extreme the corruption has been? Most people say, leave it alone. It's too dark. I say, bring it forth so we can heal it. You know what, when things are hidden and pushed down and not recognized, they fester and grow. That's like a disease. When you don't recognize something and bring it to the surface to heal it, it'll fester and grow and destroy. That's what happens when you know what that is? Denial. Let's pretend it's not there. Let's leave it alone. No, it has to come up. It has to come, the ugly purging has to come, and a healing will come from it. Finally. Man, it's been a long time before the truth has come out. But it has to, and it will create a much better world. So this Mercury retrograde has value, has meaning, has purpose, even though it's going to be tough. Because, let me just say, because Mercury rules the thinking mind, I want you to be more careful. In other words, before you leave the house and slam the door, make sure you have your keys so you don't get locked out. You have your keys to your car. Don't lose your keys. Double check yourself. Because when Mercury is retrograde, it makes us more absent-minded. And if you have to sign any contracts, double check it. Look at every crossing and dot. Double check. You'll find mistakes, and you'll be glad you did. Because it just makes us not see clearly, especially with Neptune with Mercury. Are you kidding? We're blinded. There is so many things we're blinded to. I can't even tell you how extreme this is. So traveling is a problem because pilots may not see things. People are blinded. They can't see clearly. And I'll tell you something else with Mercury and Venus and all the planets with Neptune. Neptune is fog. There will literally be major fogs around the world. Yes, maybe even a big fog that overtakes a city. That is really strange. I'm seeing that too. Come to think of it, Neptune ruling fog. This month is really intense with the planets going over Neptune and Rahu, the fog, the disillusionment, the denial, not seeing clearly, the deception. It's finally going to clear up though. But it's like we have to get to the bottom of things to clear them up. And it's not pretty, but that's what it takes to heal. So with that, I think I'll close. This is a monumental Mercury retrograde, so be aware. This is a monumental month in so many ways. Be aware, be cognizant. And it is time to explore your spirituality and heal yourself. That's what this energy is beautiful and good for. So with that, I think I'll close. Remember, if you would like to sign up for my free newsletter, go to galacticcenter.org. Check out all the wonderful offerings I have on my website, as well as if you would like to learn Vedic astrology. Go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com, and become my student. Thank you.